Listen to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Tonight we got the real Louis Ortega, TJ, Reese in the building. What's going on, fellas? How's everyone?
It's good. What's good?
Everything good over here?
Man. So TJ,
everything's good. Ready for MotoGP to be back? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good up here, up northeast. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Ready for MotoGP to be back.
Okay.
See some racing action.
You didn't watch any preseason football?
Yeah, to me, it matters, but it don't. Like most players get injured in preseason, so I'll just wait till the regular season.
Okay.
I did watch the Patriots a little bit, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm a Patriots fan. I'm sorry.
Season. It's bike season right now. Don't be sorry. We got rings over here.
Hey, Eagles, we got rings too.
It doesn't sound the same when you do it like
Giants have some rings that they took from the Patriots, so we got some rings too.
Oh man! Here we go.
It still doesn't add up, man. I mean, Reese, what have you said when we talk about other teams compared to your team? that's
I mean, you're right. You're right, but didn't we knock one of your players out that one Super Bowl season?
Players get knocked out all the time.
Oh, no, he was out cold.
I'll be honest with you. Since I left the Northeast, I don't watch football, man.
Okay.
The team here in Charlotte sucks, so I'm not gonna watch it.
I forgot y'all had a team.
Yeah, you got to look way down the rankings to find it. So.
It's tough in the middle of the country. You're not quite there, but it's tough when you're a team in a market like that. But let's get into MotoGP and talk about different teams and why we're here. Before we get into the second half of the season, just wanted to ask you guys, outside of Marc Marquez, which rider stood out the most to you in the first half of the season? Start with TJ.
Just right off the top of my head, just because I've been rooting for the year, so I'm gonna be a little biased, but I want to say Marco Bezzecchi. Okay. Obviously, he had his ups and downs for the first couple of rounds, but for someone to bounce back, he came back really, really strong with podiums and back-to-back and finishing top 5. So I think his second half of the first half of the season is most impressive for me so far.
Okay, that's what's up. What about yourself, Reese? Who would you say is the standout rider for so far in MotoGP?
Besides Marc Marquez, I mean, I'm going to still say Alex Marquez is still a standout rider. I mean, what he has proven, number 2 rider, then he's actually fallen and got back up and actually still got to a considerable place. So, to me, he's one of the most standout riders for this year.
Louis Ortega, man.
I got to agree with Reese. I think Alex being in second place is a massive shock. I definitely didn't see him there. I figured he'd be in the top 7 or 8, but I didn't think he'd be in second place. Like that took me for a loop. And on the rookie side, I would say Aldeguer. I didn't think he was gonna. He started out really slow. I didn't think he was gonna do that good. And remembering where he came from, Moto2, how he kind of just gave up in the season once he got the contract. I wasn't expecting a lot from him, and then all of a sudden, same thing, man. It just clicked for him at some point, and he just started being super competitive. So those are the 2 guys that I would say really caught me off guard.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I kind of feel the same way on that. Those are really the 3 guys that kind of stood out outside of the main contenders. What about teams? Which team stood out to you so far the most in the first half of the season outside of Factory Ducati? Because, it's a given what they've been doing the last few years. TJ.
I mean, it's pretty much been all Ducati. I mean, it's been up and down with KTM. Aprilia had basically one solid
You get
rider.
to pick one, man. You got to pick one
I
team,
know,
man. It's
I
just
know, I know, I know, I know. I would have to say KTM because they've been a full squad and they actually you know finish top 10 here and there. So I would say besides Ducati, KTM's probably been the most functional, even though they still had their struggles. But it's tough.
uh,
Tough to choose. Tough to choose.
come on, man. You're a Yamaha Suzuki guy. It's not
I
tough.
mean, polls don't really do much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have results also. So
Okay. All right. Reese, what are your thoughts, man? Which is your
I
team? Which is
mean,
the team?
besides the Ducati team, Garcini and Factory Ducati, I'm gonna have to go with Aprilia. I mean, surprisingly, what they have done with just one rider is phenomenal. I mean, they have nobody to bounce any kind of ideas on, no knowledge. They're just bouncing knowledge off of one rider instead of two. And that's really tough. I mean, that's tough as they can get just to bounce everything off of one rider. So to see what they have achieved and come with, I mean, that's superior.
Yeah, I'll have to agree there with Reese. Aprilia has definitely been the surprise team for me because even though they only have one factory rider right now, even their satellite riders have had flashes of brilliance, and they seem to be getting more and more competitive on a regular basis. The KTM squad has had its ups and downs, and I think they're going to be more competitive in the second half. But right now, for the first half, I think outside of obviously Ducati, but Aprilia would be my big most improved or shockingly improved brand.
Yeah, I agree with you there. KTM started to get it together with Maverick a little bit, but Aprilia, I mean, they were, having that much negative press on them for pretty much the first half of the season, and to get some wins and podiums, and even their satellite team is both riders are starting to shine. Obviously, Aigura had some injuries early on after he was finishing in the top 10 and stuff like that, and Raul now looks like what he was looking like when he was in Moto 2. So we're moving to the Austria Grand Prix. I believe last year was over 300,000 in attendance. What do you guys think it's going to be like this year for the Austrian Grand Prix? And being the first round after the summer break.
I mean, it's like I think it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. I think it's gonna be just as packed, busy, and exciting with all the fans. I'm not sure what the weather layout is gonna be like, but it's hopefully it's gonna be a KTM battle. They seem to be pretty well at this track, and I just think it's gonna be a good event for people to finally have some time off and come back with a focus on the second half of the season. Even though that we know what the results are, I mean, still people have to fight for, pride and contract still. So.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to go to the Austrian GP at some point. I like the layout of the track, and I like the layout of the track. Reese, we've heard Lewis say that home GP gives these guys an extra couple of tenths or maybe a second. Do you think that what are your thoughts on the Austrian Grand Prix, and then also you think that KTM is going to be getting on the podium at their home Grand Prix?
I mean, I do have to agree with TJ there. I think we're going to get a lot. I think they're going to get a lot of fans. I think it's going to be packed. That stadium, that arena and venue seems to sell out a lot of people. I think with KTM being at home, I think that does give them a little slight edge. I mean, they're coming there to put on a show for their home crowd and for the as you want to call them, the big dogs of the corporate world. I mean, seeing that they had their whole finance situation. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of eyes on them at their home Grand Prix to actually see what they can do. So that's going to give them a lot of edge and a lot of push to be up front, to be in that top spot on the podium, or even just in the top spot, so they can get their sponsorship shown and themselves shown.
Lewis, man, what are you thinking?
Quick glimpse of the weather shows sunny on Friday and scattered thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday, 50% chance of rain each day. So depending on that, that's really going to throw a wrench in the works for some people, because there's some people that are obviously a little bit better at those wet conditions or at the flag-to-flag races. I think, I think Maverick will do well, because I think he wants to bounce back from his last little nudge that put him in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pedro Acosta is probably getting some help with the data or what he's seen, what success Maverick is having, because he had success at the last round. So I think KTM will be competitive. The person that I'm really going to be interested in seeing is Marc Marquez, because this is one of the very few tracks that Marquez has never won on. He's been on the podium a bunch of times and come in second place a bunch of times, but he's actually never been on the top step at the Red Bull Ring. So he might have a little bit of extra fire in his belly to try to make sure he gets on that top step. So we'll see how the weekend goes. I mean, obviously he's still the favorite every time he shows up because he's Marc Marquez. But if the rain gets involved, I mean, we saw what's his name win on slicks in the rain because Brad Binder. He timed it just right on the flag to flag. Everybody else pitted, and he said, "You know what? I think I can make it." And so we never know. It's a cool track because it's got a really nice layout. And like you said, they get really big crowds. Like they get 200,000 plus people on a regular basis. So will we see another record-breaking weekend? Maybe. I mean, it depends on the weather. Depends how brave the people are if the weather's really bad.
There's too many right-handers. Too many right-hand turns. That's why you probably didn't see Mark out there.
Yeah.
More rights than lefts. So
he's got to do more lefts. They got to add some more left for him.
Let's talk about Miller a little bit and Pramac and those guys. From seeing on social media and stuff like that, there's he might go to World Superbike. He may go to the factory seat. What's more realistic? You think he's going to go factory on Pramac? I mean factory on Yamaha.
Yeah. I think that's more realistic.
Yep. Well, I was just going to say, I think that's more realistic. It's time for Alex Rins to, give it up, give his seat up, not give it up in general, but, I think Jack Miller is good for the seat for sure. I mean, I know you probably want to go younger, but at this state of moment, with Jack being on Yamaha right now, I think it would be a good fit.
I agree with TJ. I do. I see him going to factory Yamaha. I see Alex Rins going away. I see Oliveira staying and to be over there with Top Rack. I mean, like you said, you want to go to you be with a younger guy, but just the way it lines up, that's the way I see it falling in play, because you have Jack Miller that has a lot of knowledge coming from Ducati, coming from all the brands. He has a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in riding, where he can actually help develop the bike, especially if they do the V4 next year. That can help develop the bike a lot easier and a lot better because he has the knowledge from coming from a V4. You can actually leave Top Rack over there to let him get his feet wet, to let him get his experience in MotoGP. So once they do change the rules in 2027, he can actually slide right in, stay on Pramac one more year, and then slide right into a factory seat.
Okay.
I think you're both wrong, because you guys, there's a thing called a contract, and Alex Rins has one with Yamaha through the end of 2026. So there ain't a seat available at factory Yamaha unless Pramac gets a factory bike on a satellite team. So Jack Miller will not be wearing those blue Yamaha colors next year. Alex Rins can still finish last because he still has a contract. So I think you guys should probably think twice about him being on the factory Yamaha.
You can have a contract, but you can still put him over there.
I hate to be the contract guy.
Nah, you can still have a contract, and you can put him, like you said, put him on that Pramac, and he has still has a factory bike, just in a different color.
Yeah, no, and I think that's probably the most viable option for him, especially after stepping in, going to Suzuka, coming in second on the Yamaha, pitching a couple Yamahas into the fifth row of the stadium, but still at least finishing the race in second. I mean, there is a big opportunity for him in World Superbike, but if he has the opportunity to stay in MotoGP, I mean, that's where you want to stay. You want to stay in the biggest show on the planet. You don't want to go. I mean, World Superbike is not the biggest show on the planet. It's a big show, but it's not the big show.
Right. Okay. What do you guys, we start with TJ, expect to see which rider has the most to prove the second half of the season, but really from the start of the second part of the season, this round coming up, which rider in your eyes has the most to prove?
Has the most what?
Most to prove. Most to prove. Which one's going to be fighting the most? Obviously, Mark's doing what he's doing, so it's going to be everyone else. And who do you think is going to be, fighting for second place or third place?
I mean, I think it's probably going to continue as we'll be seeing. I think Alex Marquez will probably get back on his wave that he was on. So I think he'll be fighting for his second place. But who I want to see fighting up there is Jorge Martin. I know he just came back, but he's very competitive and he has the pace, and he's a champion. So it'll be cool to see him come back second half of the season and shake the season up a little bit. So I would love to see him fight for second or third or top five. But I see mostly Alex.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you think that's fair for him just racing 2 rounds so far? Yeah. one and a half.
I mean, he's been practicing. They've all been pretty much practicing, but it seems like he's been going pretty strong since this last round of racing and going into the summer break. So we'll see. I mean, when he came back, he was pretty competitive as we saw. I mean, he didn't finish terribly. So.
Okay, all right. I like that. I can see. Oh, hey, Martin. What are you thinking, Reese?
I gotta go with Alex. I mean, I gotta go with him because
he's still proven.
He's still proven. I mean, it's going to be a point in time where you're just going to get tired of being second banana. It's going to be a time where that's going to piss you off too much. So, I know that's your brother and everything else, but there's going to be a time where, it's just going to be like, I can't do this anymore. I got to get in front of my brother. I mean, I was the same way with my younger brother. My younger brother started riding with me. Well, I started riding with him, and he was faster than me, and I was like, I got to beat your ass. So I got to give it to Alex. I got to give it to him. He's got more to prove. He's got something to prove, saying I'm better than just second.
And probably a little bit more pressure since that's a sibling, right? I mean, it's tough when, it's a non-sibling and you can hate the guy, but when it's just your sibling, it's really hard to navigate that.
Right.
So
this one's a hard one because there's a couple of guys that have a lot to prove. Like there's some guys that have some stuff to prove just to keep a job.
Right.
And there's guys that have stuff to prove because they should be doing better than they're doing or they're underperforming overall. Like for instance, I hate to say Luca Marini, he might not have a job at the end of this year, or he's gonna have to find a job somewhere else. So Honda doesn't seem super psyched to re-sign him. He hasn't had the greatest results. He's also been injured, and now he's coming back from injury. I mean, there's a lot of things working against him, and he really does have to step up to try to get a new contract with Honda. And then the other one that I think has the biggest spotlight on him is Bagnaia, especially going into this coming weekend, because Bagnaia has technically won the last 5 races at the Red Bull Ring, including sprint races. So for the last 5 times that they've gridded up at this track to have a race, whether it's a sprint race or a race, he's been on the top step of the podium. And now if he goes to this track that potentially he's supposed to be first and he gets the floor cleaned up by him, if Bezzecchi beats him, if Marquez beats him, if Alex beats him, if you know, if all these other guys beat him, I mean, it's just putting more pressure on him, you know, to kind of admit, you know, he's not the guy anymore. And that's a tough, very tough pill to swallow when you've been that guy.
I agree. Yeah, I think that Raul. I mean, even though he has a contract for next year, I think Raul has a lot to prove as well. I think the KTM boys got a lot to prove. All of them got a lot. You know, I feel bad for Maverick because I think he's been the most consistent one since Austin. But you know, his injuries, obviously, we'll see what he looks like when he comes back from injury and stuff. He'll come back, from injury because I think he was out. What do you guys think about VR46 Academy riders? Hopefully Morbidelli will be back and healthy and stuff like that. Do you think Digia has a lot to prove to show that he deserves that 26 factory bike next year?
I mean, I feel like they always got.
Well, he has a factory bike now, but will he retain it for 2026, or will that go to Alex or someone else?
I mean, I feel like they always got something to prove. Just being a part of the, VR46 Academy. It's just, you're just like not an outsider, but you're part of a club that's in a series. So I feel like you always got something to prove. Always, the spotlight on you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the factory seat going forward, but Digi definitely deserves it. I don't know about Morbidelli. I mean, I know he's been doing well, but I don't know. It's tough. I think one or the other is going to have to give it up.
Yeah. I don't think Morbidelli should get it. Unless he has an unbelievable second half of the season. I think it'll be between Digia and Alex Marquez for next season.
I can agree to that.
Gear, but I don't think so. Second,
I said I can agree with that between Digio and Alex, but I mean he's still got a lot to prove. Digio still got a lot to prove. You're supposed to be what is it? Him on a factory bike so far. But he's still not proven to be up there as many times as the other guys were back before on a factory bike.
Right.
So it's like, what are you really doing? They're all on the same identical bike and you're still way back there, or you're having problems or this. So my thing is, you have a lot to prove in the second half or, to actually do it. So, if anybody, I would say before him, it'd probably go to Alex because Alex has been there to prove it.
Yeah, I think when you're wearing that fluo yellow and you're on that team, you got a little bit more heat on you, got a little bit more spotlight on you, and they expect more from you. And even though they're very close in points, Digi is not very consistent. He'll have flashes of brilliance in some races, and then he can't put three corners together in another race. And Morbidelli, it really comes down to recklessness. He rides reckless sometimes, and that costs him points, that costs him positions, that costs him penalties. If he just kind of stopped being as reckless as he is, they're only 3 points apart. Morbidelli has actually had better starting positions than the Gian Antonio. And in most of the races, if you really recall, Morbidelli has outperformed the Gian Antonio a little bit more consistently on a regular basis. It's just Morbidelli has also had more visits to the crash truck, has had more penalties, has had to do a lot of long lap penalties, grid penalties, all this other stuff. And it kind of has bit him in the ass. But right now they're 5th and 6th in the overall point standing, and they're only 3 points apart. So even with all the bullshit that Morbidelli has done, he's only 3 points behind the guy in the box next to him. If Morbidelli would take the second half of the season to kind of do a hard reset, stop riding like an a-hole, and just put your head down and seriously put your head down, do the work, stop using everybody as a berm, and just outride them. Don't try to out muscle them. Don't try to out bully them. I think at the end of the year, Morbidelli could be ahead of the Gian Antonio in the final points. You know, I'm always rooting for Morbidelli, but dude, he does it to himself. Nobody else does it to him. He does it to himself. He's his own worst enemy.
Yeah, no. If I was a betting guy and bet on him, I'd have lost everything because he shows flashes and it's just not there. And and I've been rooting for the guy, and I think next year he'll be better. But I think also the second half of the season, I hope that. I mean, we know Rossi's in his ear and all the right people in his ear telling him all the right things. But it's one thing to hear it; it's another thing to go out there and do it.
Well, right now, he doesn't have a contract for next year. He's the guy walking around the paddock looking for work. So, this second half of the season is going to be really important because, again, he's a VR46 guy. They might want to keep him, but if they really wanted to keep him, would they have given him only a 1-year contract to begin with? Like, this is almost like your proving grounds. Let's see what you're about. Yeah. Let's see where you end up. I think if he ends up in front of the Gian Antonio at the end of the year, VR46 has to re-sign him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about Zarco and Honda, mostly Zarco, because I read somewhere that this is the second year in a row that he was part of a team to win the 8-hour Suzuka. Which is very impressive. He's a top Honda guy in my opinion. What are your thoughts? What do you expect from him? Is he gonna kind of be mid-pack top 10 go towards the end of the season, or unless mixed conditions, or you feel like he can still get on the podium again before the end of the season?
If Honda can pull it out, I mean, he's the guy to put it on the podium. I always said that when we brought up who if he deserved a factory seat, I thought he definitely should. I think he does. For the 8-hour Suzuka, like, he impressed me with that. I did not know that it was just him and another rider for this 8 hours. So his stamina is top notch, and to come in first place is just a big milestone. So he's still got a lot in the tank. He's showing it, and Zarco is definitely a guy that will probably get you on the podium before the end of the year.
Okay, all right. I did see a thing, Reese, that Zarco might pursue a music career after MotoGP, and I didn't realize he had siblings that are in the music business. Factory seats for Zarco, podium, and maybe even a Grammy.
I don't know about the Grammy, but I'll give him the factory seat. I'll give him the factory seat. I don't know about the Grammy thing, and I got a lot of family in the music, and I don't know about the Grammy thing, but
connections already.
Hey, I got a lot in there, but I give him a factory seat. Definitely give him a factory seat. I mean, he's well deserving of it. I mean, what he has proven is top notch. Is more than what Marini has done, and more than what anyone has done on that Honda so far. I mean, they leave him on a satellite bike. I think it's kind of nonsense. I mean, you're trying to develop your bike and get your bike up to the front group and to the leading pack, not be in the mid pack or the back of the pack. I mean, he's gotten a satellite bike up to the top podium, so why not give him that? Why not give him that spot? You need somebody that's going to help develop the bike. And from the people you got, from Joan Mir to Luca Marini, they're not developers. They're just riders. They're not a developer and someone that can help develop the bike. Zarco is. So to me, he's earned that seat.
Okay. All right. And you'd keep Mir because Mir's had not as much bad luck as Oliveira, but he's close.
He's getting there, man.
Listen, if it was me signing contracts, I'm going Zarco and someone else besides Mir and Marini. I'm like, yeah, y'all got to go.
There's some bad juju happening over here. You got to go.
I'm chopping block. I'm chopping heads off. Y'all got to go.
What are your thoughts, Louis?
I mean, I would. I think the best plan for Honda is show Marini the door and show Zarco the seat, and then find somebody else to go to the Castro bike. Find yourself a young, talented rider that you can slide into the Castro bike. I think that's probably the best setup for Honda. Mir still has another contract on his deal. Put Zarco in the factory bike. Let him keep developing it. See how things go. I mean, if Mir can stop people from crashing into him, which is impossible, maybe he'll finish. I mean, when he finishes, he's done pretty well. The couple of times he's been able to get everything together and the bike is progressing. Everybody knows that the Honda's still one of the worst bikes in the paddock, but it's got its moments of brilliance. And I think Zarco has capitalized on most of those moments. So absolutely, put him on the factory team. Find a young rider to get on the Castro bike that's hungry, that has talent. Keep Rins and Zarco, for one more year on the factory team and see what more they can develop out of this bike. I really believe that Honda is putting a lot of effort into it. If you look at the way that Honda's changed their team, the structure, the way that they develop the parts for the bike, they're doing a lot of stuff now in-house in Europe. They're not going back to Japan for every little piece. I mean, they're trying really hard. They're trying to think of they're working in a European mentality way, the same way Ducati and Aprilia work and KTM, to try to develop this bike as fast as possible. They just need one more year with this bike, and then they're going to come out with the 27 package, and that might be the package. So this is the guy to help develop that as well.
Do we send Luca to the satellite team or?
Nah, Luca's going to have to go. Yeah, Luca's going to have to find a whole new job. I mean, I'm not saying the guy's not talented. I wouldn't mind seeing Luca in World Superbike.
Okay.
Realistically, like a Rossi sibling in World Superbike, I think he'll have a ton of success there. He'll get a ton of fans instantly. With the right team, he can have a ton of success. We see what Bulaga's doing in Superbike, and Marini's just as talented as Bulaga. He just needs the right package for him.
Right.
So
going back to Ducati for Luca wouldn't be helpful. I mean, is it safe to say that Luca had a better career on the Honda than Alex did?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alex had no career on a Honda.
So I mean, go back to Ducati, or maybe there's not too many seats left. I don't know if there's not too many seats left. So it really would be, him and Morbidelli might have to fight it out at the ranch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of seats left, man. I mean, there's his seat, there's Morbidelli's seat.
Yeah, right.
and like I said, and Morbidelli doesn't do well, and you're the brother of the owner of the team. Do you want to see your brother, if he can't find another ride, unemployed, or do you want to bring him back to your team?
At the end of the day, it's business, man.
So there's business, but there's also additional politics. Does Rossi want to see his direct sibling not have a job? He's Rossi, man.
I mean, technically, he can still get a job. He can be inside the office. He ain't got to worry ride a bike. You can still have a job. Just ain't got to ride a bike. Maybe this isn't for you. I can put you in the office as, project manager, but shit.
Come on, man. Luca deserves to be in MotoGP at least one more year.
I mean, we could put him in MotoGP. Like I said, just put him behind the curtains.
That's right.
Luca could. There is a possibility that Luca could end up on a Yamaha if Miguel Oliveira doesn't hit certain clauses in his contract, because the 2026 part of his contract comes with clauses in 2025. So if he doesn't hit certain metrics, Yamaha could get rid of Oliveira, and there's a possible spot for Luca there. And that would kind of, bring again the Rossi family back into the Yamaha fold and so forth and so on. So I'm not saying that the guy doesn't have a ride. I mean, it's going to be very difficult
still part
to find.
Of the Yamaha.
Yeah,
he's still part of the Yamaha family. He's
he's
the ambassador.
There's still angles, man. There's always angles until there's not any angles left.
Yeah,
right now, there's 4 different angles.
Man, those angles are about as small as they're cute.
Huh?
Do you think Luca Marini messed himself up by jumping to the factory Honda seat too soon?
Not by jumping to the factory Honda seat, jumping on the Honda. Like the Honda is
I guess
it's the black plague. Like you go there and it's like, you know what? This is where I go to throw my career down the toilet.
Even his own brother told him to do that. He said, "Don't go there. You're going in your career." Where we at? We're at the end of his career.
Yeah. I mean, I think the crash at Suzuka obviously, put him in a bad light because he was starting to get quicker on the Honda. I mean, he wasn't Zarco quick, but he was starting to get up there.
Yeah, quick enough to be top 10. Not even top 10 though. Quick enough to be top 15.
Nah, I think on the if he's gonna get a ride and a ride that will work for him, I think it's gonna be either the Yamaha ride or he'll end up at VR46 again.
Yeah, I think so. Got to see these guys in the paddock as long as possible. Little rumor going out there. Who's it? Gunther Steiner, former MotoGP, F1 principal, I believe. Now
Yep.
is thinking about buying Tech 3.
Yep.
We're seeing Trackhouse come in and they race in NASCAR here in the States, and they seem to be doing fairly well. What are your thoughts on another race car guy coming into MotoGP? We saw Davio try to go to F1 and didn't work out as well for him going that way, and he's back in MotoGP.
And I mean, I don't know if I'm the right person to comment on this because, I see, the cars coming into the bike scene a little more. I don't know what's going on. I see it's obviously a little better for the sport, but like, I don't know where to put it. Obviously, the money's coming in somewhere.
I was gonna say they got the money.
But rules are changing a little bit. I don't know. I think it's a good idea, but I still just see how it goes. I need somebody else's opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Michael Jordan try to do it out in AMA. I think that was the name of the series at the time, and
AMA.
struggled. But he now he's in NASCAR, and he's won some races. What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I mean, you got to go outside of the motorcycle industry for sponsorships. You can't just stay in that the motorcycle industry. If all four of us here are using the same motorcycle industry sponsors, we're going to drive that well real quick. It's going to dry, and if we go outside, that well gets 10 times bigger. It gets 10 times bigger. You go outside that well. And I think it's a great idea for it. It brings in new fans, new looks, new sponsors, all types of new revenues that hasn't even been exploited yet. So I think that's a real good idea because, I mean, they're doing a lot of guys, a lot of teams are doing that outside everywhere and to every other series, World Superbike to us, to everybody is looking outside of that motorcycle industry and to get the well 10 times bigger.
We like the sound of a big well. What are your thoughts, numbers guy?
Let me get my calculator out here.
F1 plus 20 mil.
This dude's Haas F1 team has a value. The last time I checked, $780 million. The Tech 3 team is being sold for $20 million. So it's being sold for the money he found in his couch. Right? So he's buying the team for belly button lint compared to what he's normally dealing with in Formula One.
Right, yeah.
And to be honest with you, with the sale of MotoGP to this new entity, which is also ownership in Formula One,
Liberty Media Group.
This gentleman knows something about what Liberty Media is planning down the road, and he wants to have his hands in both pots because he sees the potential there to expand his market, expand his value. I mean, he can take that $780 million, buy this team for $20 million, increase its value by $100 million, and get both teams combined to be $1 billion. Then he's onto something. And this is the way you do it. Obviously, Tech 3 team has been with Poncharal for I don't even know how long. And after all those years, is only worth $20 million. Like, that's really sad, man. Like, there's teams that have only been around for less than 8 years that are worth double or triple that. So I say it's a good thing. I say let him buy it. Let's see what he can do. What media things he can do that are different than what MotoGP is doing now, because Formula One has grown exponentially over the last 15 years. I mean, they just continue to grow. Their footprint in all media continues to grow. The cars, the racers, the swag, the materials, people, buy all these jerseys, buy everything else. I mean, even when they go to these one-off races in Vegas and things like that, the revenue that Formula One races bring in dwarfs what MotoGP does. Like if you look at how much money Formula One brings to Coda when they go for a weekend versus what MotoGP does when they go for a weekend, it's not even close, man. I mean,
It's night and day.
It's not even night and day, man. It's last year to 1900 when we were all on horses, man. Like that's how big Formula One is. And it's not like it's always been like that. It's always had its fans. But in the last 10, 15 years is when they really put the pedal to the metal. And now Formula One is like this behemoth of a sport, man.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it's knocking on a door of football, but it's up there.
It's up there. I mean, the amount of money that people are paying to go to these events, the amount of money that these countries are paying to get a Formula One. I mean, it's almost like, I'm not going to say exactly, but it's almost like having a small Super Bowl every 3 weekends in a different country. We're going to bring the Super Bowl from this country to this country every other weekend. And that's what they do, man. And if they can bring some of those ideas, bring some of that knowledge, and bring some of that money over to MotoGP, I don't see a problem with it. I'm all for it. Because I don't like the fact that factory teams have to be factory teams and sponsor their own factory teams. The fact that Suzuki had to sponsor its entire team out of its own pocket because it couldn't get enough outside sponsorship to cover everything, that's disgusting, man. I'm sure Ferrari doesn't give those cars away. They sell them, they rent them, they lease them. And they still do it for way more than any of the MotoGP bikes. You can get a MotoGP bike for, 2.5 million euros. Good luck buying a Formula One car. You could buy a set of tires for the year or cover your tire costs with what a MotoGP bike costs.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. I also saw something that says that MotoGP, shouldn't be looking to add another round in the U.S. and maybe look in South America. What are your thoughts on that? We definitely need another MotoGP round in the U.S. I think we're big enough to have a couple of rounds.
Yeah, I definitely think they should find a way to add another round in the U.S. I mean, I don't know what other tracks that's even close. I know before I think it was Indianapolis, but I don't remember MotoGP back then. But
Indianapolis and Laguna Seca have hosted MotoGP events.
Right. I think Laguna Seca was just not safe enough for the layout and stuff like that. But they already had like 22 rounds. I'm sure with sprints and stuff like that, it's just a lot of racing. I mean, we want to see more racing, but to add another, like a 23rd would be it might be good for the sport. But I just think that bringing another one to the U.S. will bring it better for the U.S. economy and more fans on our side, to see the MotoGP world, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if another country would lose a round too, so I don't want to say they add in 23, but they, to add a different round to the U.S.
I mean, every year we start a season with such and such a rounds, and we end up canceling one or two anyway. So we should just be good to add a second one in the U.S.
What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, I think it would be great to have another round in the U.S. I mean, we actually could use it, to bring a lot of fans to the country, to bring the revenue. They can't. Laguna is for them where they're at. I mean, they may be able to bring it back once they drop down to the 850cc, but with the 1000cc, there's no way in heck. It just is too dangerous. That then, from what I understand, that the facility can't house a MotoGP because MotoGP wants all the teams all the MotoGP teams, all the Moto2 teams, they want them all to have garages. They got to have all garage.
Can we use a Miami F1 track or Vegas F1 track?
Nah.
Put some air fences on the buildings.
Nah. I think the next possible track to house a MotoGP event is a new track that's being built. The new track that's being built out there in Tennessee. I think that's the newest venue that can be housed. I know from what I hear, the smaller version is almost complete. The smaller version of the track, and they want to see how that section does. It's almost like they did the Jersey round. Lewis know, where they finished Lightning, and they wanted to see how that did, and then they went and finished Thunderbolt, where they house everything now. And it's the same thing they're doing now. They have two tracks out there in Tennessee in the same area, in the same thing, same complex. And the big track is supposed to be a F1 track. It's supposed to be a big Grand Prix track. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, can the U.S. have a second race? I mean, they can, but if you look at our attendance for one race, I mean, are you going to split that attendance in half? I don't think you're going to bring more people. I think if anything, you might split that attendance in half. So now you're going to go from what's not a great turnout to begin with to making it two not great turnouts.
Right.
If you want to make one big turnout, I think you do one really, really good event here in the U.S. You don't necessarily have to do it at COTA. Laguna Seca is not a good venue for MotoGP because they don't have the facilities to house all the extra support paddock. And if you've ever been to Laguna Seca, it's a very small town. It doesn't have a lot of hotels. It's very difficult to get in and out. I mean, it can't really host a super big event. Indianapolis was great because the city itself is built to host really big events. There's a ton of hotels. There's a ton of restaurants. The track itself is massive. I think the biggest problem they had there was just the track. It wasn't maintained very well. It didn't have the runoff that they wanted. They didn't want to repave it. There was a lot of other issues, and that's why they kind of went away. But we did have two events at the same time. We had Indianapolis and Laguna Seca, and then we had the overlap of, I believe it was Indianapolis and COTA. So we did have more than one event in the U.S., and if you go back and look at the numbers, combined, those two races were probably doing just a little bit more than the one MotoGP race does now at COTA. So it's not really growing the sport. It's just splitting the attention.
Right.
I would probably do another round in South America, like maybe a round in Mexico City or something like that, a little bit following more of the Formula One tour. Keep the one in Brazil for South America. Keep the one in Mexico for Central America. And then keep one in the U.S. for North America and Canada.
For North Mexico?
Huh?
I said keep the one in Austin for North Mexico.
I mean, I guess. But I think Mexico or someplace in Latin America would be a better option. Keep one in South America itself in Brazil. Keep one in Mexico for Central and other parts of Latin America that don't necessarily go to Brazil. Keep the one in the U.S. and that's it. Until we can really grow the fan base here, it's not, it's just not going to help.
Right. I got you there. All right. I know we haven't really talked much about the boys in red, the factory guys. So we're saving the best for last. Pecco's in third place. Mark obviously in first place with lots of points where he could probably take maybe a couple of rounds off and do the turtle in the hair kind of thing and take a nap. What do you guys expect to see from those two? A little bit of the same, or do you think Pecco's going to find his stride and give some type of a challenge?
Pecco need to find his balls.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So, as we know the results and how Lewis said, Pecco last year won the sprint and the GP. So coming into this round after all his struggles, I know he don't like the pressure and he probably wants it to go away, but it's not again. So now he's up against pressure again. So I hope he can pull it out and do something, at least get on the podium. But we know Mark's being Mark. He's not letting go one bit. He's gonna give his all for the rest of the season. That's how I see it. I don't see him relaxing. I'll probably throw his game off. So I think Pecco needs to show himself this weekend to at least get some points. kind of catch mark. But
Right.
definitely, like Reese said, get some balls or something. We need to crash a little bit more in practice or something, just to get some feel. Like he's that is like all time low, 6 crashes out of the season or something like that. And it's not the typical Pecco we know, the champion.
Right. But he's always been stronger the second after the summer break in the last 3 years. So who knows? What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, yeah, he's been strong in the second half, but I mean, you didn't have the man sitting on a factory bike that's taking over the reign now. Now you're sitting there looking crazy because I just don't think that he had the caliber rider on that caliber bike to go against. Now you do. Now it's like we're showing you, hey, can you keep up with him? No. And it's always something. It's like lack of grip, or this didn't work, or it's something always wrong with the bike, and it's never wrong with him. It's always. Have you ever noticed? There's always something wrong with the bike. It's never him.
So I mean, he has to come back with a different belief, right? I mean, you're in the paddock with these guys. If you walk into the stadium and the guys that you're playing are already not looking at you, you already know you got it won. So he has to come in there with some kind of fire, right?
You got to come in there with some kind of fire. I mean, you got to come in there with some kind of belief in yourself. That you gotta come in some type of belief. And have some confidence in yourself. That's the biggest part. Have the confidence in yourself that there's a reason why you're a 2-time champion. Like, the bike is never going. The bike is going to be perfect, or it's going to have it may have one little section that may have a problem, but you start messing with that one section, now you messing with all other types of sections or everything else. So your job as a rider is to ride around that. You have to ride around that, figure it out. And he's not figuring it out. He wants it to be perfect. He wants it to be smooth and perfect. He's almost like an old Lorenzo. I got to ride smooth and perfect.
I can see that.
Sounds like a Biaggi to me.
What are your thoughts, Lewis? He just needs to put his time in for the weekend and just get through the weekend, or Pecco I'm talking about, because it's already a foregone conclusion.
I mean, it's funny because like I said, the last 5 times they've gritted up to race here, he's won the race. And so he does have the speed and everything else. My question is, this year with his complaints about front end feel and everything else, and this being a very front end heavy track. I mean, if you look at the layout of the track, I mean, it's got a couple of pretty strong braking zones. You got to have a lot of front end feel in a lot of these places. Is he going to have the issues that he's had in the past? Is he not going to be able to put up good results? I mean, we won't know until he starts turning wheels on the track, if he comes back from this time off and got his mind right. But Mark, even in the off season or even when they're on vacation, Mark still finds a way to give him a big old fuck you. I'm better than you. I mean, they literally just went to Bolton Park and rode around on Ducati V4s. And even there, Marquez was faster than him on pretty much factory SP bikes. It's like Mark, anytime he puts on the helmet, he's got to be the fastest guy. He can't not be the fastest guy. I mean, he went out there on a Ducati V4 SP factory, which is a fully adjustable V4, but he was within 4 seconds of Top Rack's winning race time just a few weeks early at that same track on a full spec World Superbike BMW. Like, that's just a different level, Like, that's just a different level. And if Mark keeps bringing that week in and week out, nobody's going to touch him. Even on the races where he doesn't do great, he still competes. When the bike's not working, he still competes. When the bike doesn't want to turn, he still competes. He still finds a way to stay competitive. Whereas, Bagnaya's got to stop this, I'm just going to finish the race. I'm not going to give that extra 10, 15%. I'm just going to concede that the bike doesn't work today. Like, if you can't ride an imperfect bike, then I don't want you riding a perfect bike, man, because the bike's not always perfect. You got to figure shit out sometimes. Sometimes you got to go out there, you get a bad set of tires. You figure out exactly what the problem with those tires are, and you try to do the best you can with the tires you have. Something's off balance. a sensor goes bad on the bike, whatever. You got to adapt. And what Pecco's showing me is that he has an inability to adapt. If you give him a perfect bike, he's a great rider, but not every bike is perfect and not every situation is perfect. You got to ride around the problems. I don't know if you guys ever played like the older World Superbike games. They used to have a mode in the old Superbike games where they would give your bike a problem and you would have to figure out how to ride to win the race with a bike that had third gear didn't work. So you had to go from second to fourth. So you would lose all your drive. Like same thing here, man. This dude has to learn to ride around these problems. You're a professional rider. Be a professional. Figure it out.
All right. Who do you guys have? Because we'll get out of here. Who do you guys have? What are your number 1, 2, 3 for the weekend in Austria? Start with TJ.
Let's see. For the first time, we'll say Pecco.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna say Pecco's gonna pull it out because I think I don't know. Mark's gonna do something what Mark does. He's gonna overshoot it or something and jump back on and continue the race with like one peg or something and find a way to still come back. But I think Pecco. I'll say Alex and let's say Mark.
Okay. All right. Top 3 as usual suspects, just different order.
Yeah, it's just different order.
You just put their bonus money in a bowl and they can just pick who gets the most. You got any 3, Reese?
Mark, Alex, and then it's going to be between Pekka and Jorge.
Jorge and Bezecchi and Morbidelli.
You know what? I'm actually going to go change that. I'm going to go Mark, Alex, and Bezecchi.
Okay. All right. I like that. Because Bez has been he's been doing it.
I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm going to go Mark, Bez, and then Alex.
Okay.
Damn. I think Bez, knowing that Martin is back, I think that's going to even put a little more fire under Bez to be like, hey, I'm the number 1 rider. I'm not losing it to this other guy.
Yeah. I mean, there is that, right? But there's also some irritation too, right? Because and I know you'll agree because of the contract part, but as a teammate that's supposed to be helping and helping us get better and stuff like that, there has to be someone like, come on, dude, seriously, just shut up and play.
No, I'm sure he's probably upset because of all the distraction he brought to the team. There's a team dynamic in any sport, but in motorsports more so because the way that your team works together, it really is going to affect you on the track. And when it affects you on the track, it's not like, it's a life and death situation. Not only is it a sport, but I mean, it is a life and death situation. And now you bring in this distraction to the team. You're messing up the dynamics. You're messing up the family feel that you really want in the team. Like you want that family feel, even with the guy you're competing against in the next box, like, you guys are still part of the same group. You're competing, but you also both want to win.
Right.
And when you got that, it's like having a sibling that breaks something. And then when your mom gets home, it's like, he broke it. And then you get the ass beaten, but he's the one that broke it. So Bezecchi's getting the ass beaten for being on a team because this other dude broke it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely right. And it's not just Bez, it's everyone in the team, right?
Everybody.
Mechanics. But you got to reset.
Catering people, everybody gets impacted because again, they're getting scrutinized for nothing that they're doing. They're getting scrutinized for what somebody else is doing that's supposed to be part of their team, man. That's like that one family member that shows up at that barbecue and you're like, shit. Cops is gonna show up any minute now.
It's that feeling you get when Lou shows up to the track to the race weekend. You just like, here we go. What trash talk are we getting today?
Oh man. One thing before we got here, I was trying to think of this, and I didn't want to look it up, but I want to see if you guys know who did Maverick replace on that Aprilia.
On the Aprilia?
Yeah, because I was thinking like who Alicia's I think Lowe's was already gone by then. Was it Redden? Like
That was
It says Show Lewis.
2024, right?
Nah.
Shit.
When did he get booted
No,
off of the
2023.
Yamaha? He got booted
was
off the
20.
Yamaha 23?
He got booted off in
Who was on
23.
Now you had me thinking. Shit.
I was just like, I know they didn't have one bike, and I'm just like, they had to
No,
have
they
two
had
bikes.
two bikes.
Yeah, so I'm like, who was it? Was it Redden or Lowell's? Or somebody who left from MotoGP, right? Because it had to have been somebody.
Here it says
The number
Lorenzo Salvadori.
Maybe.
I think that it was.
In
I think it was
2021, in 2021, it was Alicia Sparrow and Lorenzo Salvadori with the riders.
Okay. And then he turned into a test rider.
Then he turned into one. I mean, it looked like a test rider when he was running most races.
Oh well, yeah, that's because also no one in Moto 2 wanted to jump on that bike too. It was that.
Hey, nah, we're good. I'll just stay in Moto 2 another year. I'm good.
Come on, that shit, boss.
I'd rather have a bike blow up on me at a slower speed. I got to give it to Aprilia, man. They've come a long way in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, and don't have the same money that KTM has.
Yeah,
Right.
Don't have the same money, and it's similar to like Suzuki. Suzuki came a long way in a very short time. They don't have the money that Honda, Yamaha, or Ducati have, and they were still competitive. So it's good to see like these little guys and these teams put together something that's really good that can compete. And rumors are saying that Suzuki's trying to find their way back in for 27. I would be down to see them again, man.
Hey, listen, I want all the brands there: BMW, Kawasaki, all of them. It has to be good for the sport.
It's nothing better than a jigs on the track.
Listen, I don't know about Cowie, but Cowie.
I was so mad.
Go ahead.
I was mad when Suzuki left.
Yeah,
I was saying I was mad when Suzuki dropped out. It made no sense. Like just out the blue, like y'all were actually doing pretty well. I can just imagine they have 4 bikes out there.
I say it to this day, man. I still think they have had one of the best paint jobs in MotoGP in the past like 10, 15 years, man. That blue Suzuki, that was a pretty bike, man. Silver blue, yeah, that was a pretty bike.
That was drawing me.
I have one of those suits here in the house, man. Every day I walk past, I'm like, that was a pretty bike.
See, fellas. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Reese, Lewis, TJ. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.